The eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We are the nation's leader in outsourced dental billing. Our clients require highly skilled dental office managers that can consult with client offices.
So welcome to the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. Hi, everybody. My name is Andre Quintana, and I am the host of the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. And I'm so happy to be back and here with you guys on the show. We have a great big audience, and we have a great big show that's coming your way pretty soon. And I am so excited today. I am so excited today because we have a very special guest, but then again, everybody's special that comes on the show because I truly mean it. When you listen to the ladies and gentlemen that are going to come on the show every other week, you're going to see why I say everybody's great. Okay, so we're not going to wait any longer. I'm going to let her introduce herself, and here she is. How are you today?
Hi, Andre. I'm good. I'm Cori Anne Favro.
There we go. Thank you so much for joining. With that, can you let everybody know a little bit about yourself?
Yes. I've been with eAssist about 4 years and counting, starting in December 2014. I live in upstate New York, which is near the Canadian border in Lake Placid. It's in a two-time Olympic city, so that's exciting. Right in the mountains, so we have lots of stuff to do here outdoors. I have 2 kids, and my husband is a fireman, and we're pretty busy.
Oh, that is great. I got to talk to you a little bit about you and, about you and I and our dental background and everything that we do. And I couldn't wait to start this show because I said, okay, they've all been good, but this is going to be good. This is going to really be good. So the first question that I really wanted to ask, and that I couldn't wait to do, is how eAssist, how has it been a life changer for you?
Overall, even career and home life wise, it's been a huge changer for me. I started working in a dental office as a dental assistant way back after I went to school. I did some nursing school, and I started as an assistant, and I worked my way up to the front desk, and then I did some managing of the teams and office manager. So it was really hectic. We had our first son, Cooper, and he was a baby, and I was trying to juggle sending him to daycare for like 8 hours a day and, nursing him and doing all that, mom business while being a full-time career person. And it was really strenuous. Like, I was only seeing my son, I would say 3 hours a day because he would go to sleep when he got home at 7. I would get home at 5 with him. So it was hard. And my husband is a fireman, so he has weird days off. He doesn't have weekends off. So I was never seeing him either. So I felt really left out of my whole family in general. And it was hard. So she's like my mentor now, but she works in eAssist. She's Katrina, and she started working with eAssist. She found them, I believe, just randomly online, which was good. But she got in, and she was in eAssist for a couple of months, and I was talking to her quite often because we both worked in the same office before, and she was like, "This is really great. Like, you should check it out." So I was like, "Okay." So I applied, and I got the job. I started this with one office, staying part-time with eAssist and full-time in my office. And it was only 3 weeks, I think I did that. And I was like, I'm doing this full-time. I'm leaving the office. I'm taking back my family life, and I'm going to rule the world. So.
Well, and right there, as you told the story right there, and it's Cori Anne. Am I pronouncing it properly?
Yes.
Cori Anne. Okay. And so I feel like I know you for a long time now, and we just met. But you're so intuitive, which is one of the skills that you have to have as an eAssister, right? But you went right into one of my next questions, which was, let's take you through that process where you found out, you said it, you weren't spending enough time with your child. And then I was going to ask you right there. I was going to ask you, did you Google eAssist? How did this happen? So go back just a little bit and tell me about, this was a person that was working for eAssist and then wanted you to kind of check it out, right? And
so
there you go.
So I kind of had an insider look too. I kind of have that I had that advantage because she told me like, yes, this is legit. And the people, she worked closely with Sandy and Dr. Anderson. She was like, these are really great people. And this is, I think this is a really good idea for you since the struggles that you're going through with your work-life balance and everything. So I did Google it after when she did tell me about it and looked it up. At that time, eAssist was kind of newer. So it didn't have like a ton of like Glassdoor or anything like that. But I kind of just took her word for it. I spoke to Dr. Anderson on the phone directly and Sandy, right, pretty much the first week that I started. So yeah, it was exciting. Moved fast, but it was really exciting.
Oh, I have spoken to both of them. I have spoken to Dr. Anderson. He's so transparent. He really, truly loves people. Like to work for him, and I went home. My wife is a local dentist here where we work together. So I understand the dental industry really well. Like I say to myself sometimes, I don't have to be doing something like this all the time. I don't beyond my work, which is at the office, which is I've got my hands full. I mean, we're growing, we're expanding. I don't really have to. But when I met the team at eAssist and when I talked to Dr. Anderson, I went home so excited and I told my wife, I want to work with them. I want to work with eAssist. And I wasn't wrong. Like after the show, I've got to tell you a story about someone that really wants to join your team. And I'm mentoring her. I'm doing the exact same thing that somebody did for you because that's how you end up with all great people. It's when you have enough people around you that are saying these things about how great everyone is. Don't you agree with that?
I do. And Dr. Anderson and the whole C-level, like the higher, like Sandy and Dr. Anderson and JD, they're all like really involved too in mentoring us. Even like, so once a week we talk to Dr. Anderson and Sandy on the phone and we toss around ideas and everything. So it's really it's not like you're thrown out to the wolves and, so it's such a great nurturing environment for anyone who wants to grow. And if you have, the drive and everything and it's a great opportunity.
Yeah. And knowing Dr. Anderson, if he was in the same room with us right now, he would be loving it. He would be, let's talk about our people. Let's talk about our people. Because he really, truly, I mean, I know we have dental things to talk about and we're going to get there because I know our audience, if you're listening to us for the very first time, you want to know how eAssist works, right? But in order to know how eAssist works, you have to know about who drives eAssist. And it's really, really the people. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, that's really true. I agree with you. So you know who's on your team.
Oh, yes. It's very true because it's just knowing, whether it's in a sporting role, like for athletes, knowing, let's say athletes that are on the football field, they've got to know, some of these guys that play, let's say in front and then they have defense on behind them. They've got to know that when something happens, people are going to back them up. So now you get the job, right? What happened next?
Yep. So I started as an account manager. I was doing insurance verifications for an office and doing billing phone work for them. And I just slowly, you start slow and take on as you kind of wait it out and see how you're handling it and how the flow is going and and then you kind of just slowly take on more. So I started as account manager doing that, and then you work your way up to account executive, which is like posting and sending claims and appealing as needed, the ones that come in, adding the attachments of, x-rays, perio charting, things like that. And then this past year, I became a regional manager, which oversees all the teams currently. I kind of just am there, like, once again, support crew for the team and also support for the doctors and the office managers just to answer any questions they have or help guide them, or, they want to tweak anything, or they want to bring up something to the team. I kind of am like the liaison between the teams and the doctors.
Right. All right.
And the
so
practices.
Hold that thought there, because now a doctor gets started. Now we're going to get really into the eAssist part of our show. A doctor he or she may start a practice, and let's just plain and simple, they have to hire staff. They have to hire people that are different in many roles, like different roles. Like now you have to ask the question, who in the office enjoys dental billing? Like, it's not everybody. It's not going to be your assistants, and your hygienist can't do that stuff. You really have to dedicate a budget in your business plan to have a person that does this all the time. And, there are very few people out there that enjoy it and do it right. But if you're not that lucky as a practice, eAssist is there for you. So what are your thoughts about how you have so many people that I would call specialists in loving dental billing?
Yeah, it's really kind of like a niche almost, like to me, and I think everybody that works for eAssist, it's kind of like I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like I'm like addicted to it, actually. Like I fight with the insurance companies. Like I love just like getting the most out of everything, and that like reward of getting that appeal that you appealed 3 times paid, and, getting that collection ratio up over 100, and, having success with the aging. And
you call it an addiction. I call it passion.
I'm addicted. I need a 12-step program to stop working.
And when a doctor hears this, when a doctor hears, "Oh, I am addicted to these claims," that's really what we want to hear. That's really what we want to hear, because whether, let's say the office is idle, like over here, we don't have a lot of snow in North Carolina, but it almost seems like either we have vacations to cover, and then we get some bad weather and we have to close. Then we try to get back on track, and your best employee is out of the office. Like, it just seems like there's so many interruption to practicing consistently that's truly where I think where doctors can gain so much with eAssist, because all of the money, all of the production, eAssist can just keep everything working for you. And the only thing that you have to worry about is coming back after a couple of days off or whatever happens and start producing again. But your claims will never stop and will never be idle. Is that a fact? Correct.
Yes. So I work on an office, and they took a little break for the 4th of July holiday. I would say they probably took like a mini summer vacation for the whole office. So we continued to pull the EFTs and send the claims and continue with our appeals. So we still had money coming in while they were on vacation. So, nothing was missed. And then when they came in, they collected their mail and sent us over a big scan, and then we never missed a beat. So
right.
I think it is really beneficial. Like, since we're not in an office and everything, like we don't take sick days. Like if we're really sick and we can't get to our desk or something, we have our other team member, cover it and get it done. So nothing's ever really missed.
And
we don't close. We don't go on vacation.
Love it.
We always have coverage.
I love it. I bet people listening right now are getting excited if they're on the fence and not knowing, should I do this? Should I do the outsourcing? As well as our eAssist, brothers and sisters out there too, listening to the show. And I'm hoping that you want to come on and talk like Cori Anne about, what great things you do for an office. So now we're going to get into that a little bit, because you mentioned the EFT, and that's fairly, I think, as a new service. How do you tell your dental offices about new services that you offer at eAssist?
So a lot of times, like I'm not going to call you and be like, hey, look, we have this new service. You want it? Mostly times that I check in with my office managers or doctors, depending on who they want me check in with. Usually the minimum is like once a month on the phone, just not an email, but I call them and speak to them personally. This is obviously once they've been with eAssist for a while, but some of them is every other week, some of them once a week, it goes like that. But I usually just check in and say, like, is there any challenges or is there anything that you're facing that you need help with? And a lot of times it just kind of opens a dialogue that they are explaining like an issue they have, or, and then I'm thinking while they're talking that, maybe we might have something in our services that could help you with that and help clear that up. So a lot of things is like they have some medical claims, like they just started doing some tap appliances, but they don't want to get into the whole medical billing aspect of it. But they have some of these claims that they want to file with their medical insurance. That's a whole nother, realm of things. And that's a lot for an office. So when they bring up stuff like that, I usually will say, well, we have a medical billing program now that you can just do a few claims. It's not going to be like an all-in service. You kind of just pay like per claim. So it's not, if you're not doing a ton of them, it's not going to cost you a ton of money, but you can get some payment for those, like those tap appliances or, TMJ treatment, stuff like that, stuff that medical will cover. So basically I let them bring it to me, and I just let them know what we have to help, and I send them over the information. And if they're interested in pursuing it further, then I'll help set them up with the team and everything. So it's kind of how I let them know.
That's great. And for anyone listening out there, the best way to call and get in touch with eAssist is 844-327-7478. And you can go to dentalbilling.com, which is, another great. They have a great website with so much information. The first time I went on that website, I was blown away. I was like, this is the company that we need to go with. And I told Dr. Quintana. Then I spoke to Michelle. I don't know if you know Michelle, but
Michelle in sales, yes.
Yes.
Okay. She's great.
She is so great. And I bet she's going to get tired of listening to the story. But I was talking to her for a long time. It was on my way home. I was really frustrated with the way we were doing claims. I had somebody really, really good working on our claims. One of the best employees I've ever had. But I also thought she was the best person in collections, and to be able to be at the front desk and collecting the proper co-payments and things like that. So that person could not be in both places at one time. Have you experienced that from dental offices that might tell you what some of their issues are?
Yeah, a lot of times too, they have just like front desk people. I don't know if they're just newer or they're just not. A lot of times people can't find experienced front desk people who don't really understand the dental field or don't understand how to read the OBs or get those, like what their co-payment may be before they leave the office, things like that. Or, a lot of times dental offices are just really busy and the front desk has a lot of people to check in and answer the phones, and they don't get the updated insurance information, and they don't make sure they get the copay, and they'll just like, they'll figure it out later. But, that adds up a lot over time, is if people aren't paying when they're leaving the office. And so, yeah, I think a lot of times it's really busy, and the phone's ringing, and they're trying to give 100% customer service to the people that are in the office. And, insurance sometimes just falls by the wayside.
Yeah. And this is a great show, because we're like, you and I are just clicking right now. We want to talk about all the same things, because I was just going to ask you, what is one of the most common mistakes that your offices make? Not necessarily your office, but that dental offices make.
What we see a lot is like insurance verification. The front desk isn't making sure their insurance is active. They're just seating the patient in the back, doing your treatment, sending it out to insurance, and the plan is terminated. And then it's the whole runaround of chasing the patient to get their updated insurance information. That's a big one. That puts a big delay on, collections, because if no one's checking that report of claims that are aging and their insurance termed, and say you didn't get an EOB back saying, I mean, those claims just sit there and sit there and sit there, and they, no one knows where the payment is, and come to find out their insurance wasn't even active. That's a lot. We see, fee schedule numbers not being up to date, so it drives up your adjustments. And a big thing that we do really well is appealing and splitting claims. A lot of times the office, whoever's posting might just want to get through the stack or whatever. And they're just, if they're in the office, your front desk person, they're just closing the claim saying, oh, yeah, well, they said there wasn't enough proof, so I'm just going to close that crown. And you end up with a lot of angry patients and not a lot of collections, or things like some procedures on the EOB denied, but some of them are paid. They're not splitting out those claims, so they're only getting paid on half the stuff they could be getting paid for. Right. Maybe the insurance was just pending an X-ray or something, and that's where we really pay close attention. We split out that claim, send in an appeals or send in some more information, and just get all those procedures paid,
right,
as best we can.
Well, and I was just going to say, in fairness to the people that work in these offices, there are a lot of good people out there that have the right intentions. So when these mistakes were happening, it's not that they wanted to do it wrong for the doctor. They were trying. They're trying. They're trying their hardest, because see, as a doctor, I would want for my people, my team, to build incredible relationships with my patients. That's really that's the number one thing. I have two really important things that I want for my office and my team. One, I really want to build a culture that says to my staff that when you go to our office, that you feel like you're in a home away from home. And you're like, because we spend a lot of time together, right? Yeah. And then the next thing, once you're happy at work, then you're ready to build great relationships with patients. And if you do that, things are going to take care of themselves. But then something happens. Yeah. These claims come aboard, we come along, and busy work gets in and settles in, and people then start stressing because they want to please the doctor, right? They do want to, they legitimately want to please the doctor, but they can't do it all, Cori Anne. They can't. That's what I'm finding. So I was expecting one day that my best person in the office was going to come to me and say, I'm quitting because I can't do it all.
And then for one of the really important things is that we at eAssist, we want to be really close and tight knit with your office staff. We want to work together, not against, not they're doing it wrong and we're doing it right. And we really want to help cultivate a relationship with the office staff as well, so we can work together to get the best results. And then also we want to give them more time to, spend with the patients and cultivate that relationship as well. So it's kind of, we don't want to come in guns a-blazing,
right,
you guys are doing this all wrong. And, it's really a team effort between eAssist and the offices that we work with.
I got a little story to tell you about that, because I get excited. See, I'm getting so excited because what a great interviewee you are. what a great guest you are. I'm having a blast because you're bringing up so many powerful nuggets. A little story about my staff is that we have really smart people in our office. And one of my fears was that they would think that, no, we don't need eAssist. We can do this. Maybe eAssist wasn't, going about it the right way. I didn't know, it was new to me. So I was afraid of all these factors that you just mentioned. The next thing that happened, within a week, I had the people on my team telling me how awesome and great it was work with Lorena she's in California, and everything was about Lorena. Lorena this, Lorena that. She's so sweet. She's so great. I was in heaven. I was really loving it because I was like, okay, that was my biggest worry. And here it is. eAssist comes through one more time. Then not only do they do the work, but they create powerful relationships too. Isn't that a fact about you guys?
Yes. Yes. And that's what we strive for. You know, we want the teams to be close with the teams in the office and the office manager. And I feel like a lot of times people think like, oh, I'm outsourcing my billing, that they're going to get like, you know, people that aren't from like, you know, around where their offices are. A lot of times we have people working eAssist like just in the neighboring town that they're these dental offices. So, you know, it's like your next door neighbor. It's nothing, you know, we're not coming out of like the Philippines or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like insurance companies do that, like outsource like way out. And so, you know, we're this, you know, everyday people, but this is our niche in our dental field. And we just want to help you guys. And that's us.
And that's great right there, because you said the word everyday people. You know, and that's where we started at the top of the show. We really wanted to know about your life, how eAssist really changed you. How can we go back to that? And can you tell us how working from home now, what are the results now that because you're established, you know, you've been with the company for 3 years, your husband has a good career, and now you can say that you also have a great career, and you know, you're doing things and you're growing. How did this all happen? Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah. So after I started working for eAssist for like, I think about the second year, I was like, you know, this is working out really well. My son just I put him into daycare just for like a half day, 2 days a week, just so he could have some friends and, you know, social interaction. And then we decided, you know, me being at home and being able to do all this and everything, that we can have the second child that we were thinking about having, you know, before with my strenuous career and at the actual dental office. I was like, well, I can't have any more kids because it's not going to be even fair to them. But so we ended up having another child, Aubrey. She's 18 months now, and she's just the sweetest little thing. And it works out well. Now they both go to daycare half days, 3 days a week. My son's about to go to pre-K, so he's going to start his next adventure. I'm able to spend a lot of time with them, you know, once in a while if it's sunny and I have my posting done. I get up early, I get my posting done, I call on some of my claims, I check in with my offices, and then if I have like an hour or so in the afternoon, it's sunny, I take them to the beach, and, you know, I still can answer my email or anything that urgent happens, but it's been really nice. It's like the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I'm appreciative every day I wake up and I say, I just love eAssist. And I can't believe it. Sometimes I think I'm dreaming. So I'm just so appreciative of all the doctors we get to work with, and, you know, Dr. Anderson for the opportunity, and very thankful.
Do you think I can quit what I'm doing and do that? Oh my goodness, it sounds so really great. You know? But you know, I'm in my role now for now, and this podcast is growing, and I'm having the time of my life talking to all of the people that make eAssist what it is. But one more thing, since you talked about the good things that you're doing in your family because of eAssist, I just had a thought. Because one of my questions was going to be, what happens when an office manager takes time off? And you know what happens for sure. But everybody has a different way of describing this as the flow of the office. The entire collections process kind of breaks down when the main person is out of the office. So one thing that you are doing, and all the eAssist team members are doing, you're creating flexibility now for an office manager or the main people involved with collections in the office to actually take some time off and maybe be with their family, because you've got this all.
Yes.
You've got this all. So it used to be that doctors used to get very nervous about those things happening for the wrong reason. Now they can encourage their staff to actually take time off, won't you think?
Exactly. And if they're sick, business goes on as normal for us. So it doesn't really hinder, your collections or posting or claims going out. Everything will business as usual. So as long as the office manager, trains somebody to scan over the checks, basically, that come in for that day, basically yeah, it's fine if they take time off, and we're there. We're there for you, for them, for you.
I've got a new name for the eAssist people out there. For all of you listening, because I know a lot of our team members are going, you guys are superheroes. You know why? Because you impact, you impact the economy, you're impacting the dental office, your own family, and then you're impacting other families that work at these dental offices. You really are doing some great things. And with that, Cori Anne, I think we're going to wrap it up. But wow, we're at 31 minutes right now, and I could have gone another 30. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I'll come back if you want me to.
I want you to. I hope you're gonna. I hope that you do come back, and I'm gonna check in on you, and I'm gonna say, hey, remember that promise, right? So is that a deal?
Yes, you can come work with us anytime. It's a deal.
Oh my goodness. So I really, honestly, I want to thank you. I just want to let everybody know to go to eAssist.com and dentalbilling.com. On that website, you're going to get to see the phone number is 844-327-7478. But there's so much information on that website that you're just going to fall in love. And then, of course, if you listen to our podcast, our episodes are really easy to reach. You can go on Stitcher and iTunes. We're on iTunes. And if you love the show, please give us a review. If you love this episode that you're listening to today, which is amazing, I really feel that you can subscribe and share it with other people and pass it on. So again, I want to thank you so much for taking time. I guess you're going to go right back into your offices and do some great things out there, right?
Yes, I am.
You have been so awesome, such an expert, and I really mean that. I want you back again. So thank you, everybody. Cori Anne, thank you. Have a great rest of the week.
You too.
We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We love to put the spotlight on the individuals for their outstanding work for our clients.